Hello everyone, my name is Deborah Ocho. I am a real estate agent, a real estate broker in the GTA, and I also happen to love talking about numbers. So you can look at me as a wealth strategist. And today I want to start with a question. Have you guys been seeing all the things that's going on in the world? There being economic crisis, and people are talking about different things, and people are getting anxious, and people lost their jobs and different things. I mean, it's just a lot. And for immigrants that are just coming into Canada, I feel like it's really a lot of people feels like it's a terrible time. Even real estate agents that just got their license, and I just want to tell you that if you're feeling like you're really getting caught up in the rat race thing where you're just waking up, you're tired, you're going to work, you don't like it, but you have to go because you have to pay bills. You might be in your 30s, in your 40s, even early 50s. You're starting to think about retirement, kids' education, and all of you want as a wife, you want to take vacation. Husband, you want to spoil your wives, but it just seems like you're not never able to get there. I want to tell you that this is not your fault. The rat race is real, and it's because we don't have structures, systems in place to ensure that all of these key points are taken care of. And today I will be giving you 3 strategies to help you develop a system, something to challenge your thinking to see if you can do, especially because it's almost the end of the year where people are going to be thinking about their goals and things that they want to do. So you might want to, challenge your thinking in this way. Number one thing is your RES. Your RESP is your savings plans for your kids' college, your kids' education. And a lot of people don't know about this, but a lot of people are not using it the right way. Let me just tell you a quick story. So I think about 2 weeks ago, I was looking into my kids' RESP, and I was like, oh my goodness, I deposited some amounts over the last 2-3 years for my kids, but I wasn't taking advantage of the 20% that the government was giving. And I know it sounds crazy, but when I was looking at the numbers, instead of me putting, let's say you have 2 kids, instead of putting maximum amount of money for one daughter, in daughter A, you could split the amount on the 2 kids so that you can get the $500. Sometimes $1,000 is the maximum for a year that the government gives you. And even though it doesn't sound a lot, this money compounds, especially if you're investing it. Some people, they save their money. No, we're not saving money. One of the structures that I want you to put in place is I want you to take this money, look at your portfolio, go open your RSP for your kids, look at it and see how can I maximize to make sure that I'm getting the maximum amount of grants that the government is offering. That's number one, on each of my kids. That's number one. Number two is, am I investing this money? Because if you're not investing the money, you are losing money every year and you're leaving money on the table. And since we are talking about structures, imagine getting $1,000 each on each child. Instead of me, I was just putting money on one daughter that I felt was closer to going to university, instead of splitting it among all of them, because when I put maximum on one person, the maximum the person can get is $1,000. But if the person that I didn't put money in, if the person is like gets $1,000 every month, every year, you can see what the compound interest is gonna be. So what I'm saying is, let's check the numbers and let's look at that. The other story that I want to tell you quickly about the RESP is, the other thing that I did, I moved the portfolio from one accounts manager to the other. When I discovered the amount of management fees that this one company was charging me in 2020, when I was checking the numbers, I'm like, there's no way I'm paying this. This doesn't benefit me. And if you need help looking at all these numbers, you can always book an appointment in my calendar. I'm going to leave it below. You can always book an appointment so that I can tell you the different ways that I have been able to maximize my kids' RESP. So I looked at this, I'm like, no way. And I moved it to another vehicle, and that has been doing well. And I also make sure that I check this out every single year. Sometimes when I have time, I just go in there and I'm checking the numbers. But yeah, you have to do that. So that's strategy number one that I want to tell you. maximizing, making sure that you're maximizing the use of your RESP, creating a structure around that. And I'm going to talk about that more in future. The number two thing that I want to talk to you about is real estate. I know a lot of people say, hey, real estate, how is it going? It's not doing so well right now. It's 2025. I wish I got in 2020 and stuff like that. First of all, this is the best time, and I know it's cliche to share whatever you want to say, but this is the best time to get into real estate. You know why? In 2020, a lot of people that didn't get into it, they got into it at 2022, 2023 when the market was hot and at its peak, and those people are losing right now. So when Deborah Holmes, is telling you should get into it right now, trust me, I know what I'm saying. You could reach out to me and I will tell you some of the undervalued properties that is on the market right now that you can buy. Now, these properties, we have to run the numbers properly because we have to be making sure that they are break even or they are bringing you profits. And these are some of the real numbers that I got from one of the properties that I was just analyzing. Apart from the fact that the property was undervalued, okay? This property, the income right now for this property, for this one, it has 4 units on it, and this property is listed for around $500,000. This property, the first one, is netting about $3,500 every month, okay, every month. And then the other one is netting about $5,500 every month, okay? These are the kind of properties that I'm talking to you about. So before a person tells you that, oh, I am investing into real estate, ask them, is the investment taking money out of your pocket, or is putting money into your pockets? Because when it's putting money into your pockets, that's what we're talking about. And those are some of the structures we're talking about. The great thing about real estate is your tenant is paying for your mortgage, so they're paying it down. So even if you don't have cash flow right now, in 5, 10, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, whatever your mortgage term is, this property is all paid for, and we can check off the box of retirement. So again, I was talking about kids' education, right? How you can put structure in place to make sure that by the time they're 18, you can afford their education. Number 2 is having a property that will be paid for in 30 years or 25 years is gonna also ensure that you have a handsome retirement by the time you're retired. 3 that I'm gonna put here is what we call TFSA. So you guys know what TFSA is, right? TFSA is tax-free savings accounts, and this is important. I mean, I cannot stress that enough, because what happens here is that the government is giving you a chance to invest in stocks, in real estate, whatever it is that you want to invest in. I can tell you some of the things. Again, book an appointment through the link in my bio, because I can tell you some of the ways that I have been able to diversify my portfolio of TFSA. But you could put this money in this vehicle and you don't have to pay taxes on the profits that you make from that. So again, I want to make it clear. Let's say Mr. Patrick has $100,000 limit on their TFSA contribution. You will see this, by the way, on your CRA, your tax notice of assessments. Every year, once you file your taxes, you can ask your accountant that, by the way, what is my maximum amount to be invested in my TFSA? So let's say this person has $100,000, right? You could, if you have the money, you could put it down right here, and in 10 years, compound interest, you could only imagine what that amount would have equal to. I personally will not invest in anything that is bringing me less than 7% per annum, because and I know so many investments that can do that, right? Risk to and reducing the risk, right? While reducing the risk. So you put $100,000 there, or you could say, you know what, I'm gonna be putting $5,000 on the side every single year. Or you could even go a step further and say, I would save $100, which is the money that I will use on Tim Hortons, coffee, or whatever it is that you spend money on. I'm gonna put this money aside. I'm gonna start making my coffee from home, and I will use this $100 every single month, put it towards my TFSA, so I can have that automated and invested. So by the time I'm retiring, I have this money already there, tax-free, to be able to spend from. Does that make sense? So again, I spoke about 3 different strategies that you could use to structure yourself to make sure that some of this expenses that is keeping you up at night is paid for. I spoke about RESP, I spoke about real estate as a vehicle to wealth, and I spoke about TFSA also as a vehicle to wealth. There's so many other out there, but I'll be talking about this in some of my videos. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Subscribe to this channel so you won't miss when I have an update. I plan to upload new videos every single week. So please stay tuned, share this with your friends, and let's make 2026 great. All right, Deborah will just signing out.